You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Welcome to Opinion Nation.
And we stand today on the edge of a new frontier.
There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America.
What makes us Americans is our shared commitment to an ideal that all of us are created equal.
I, too, am America.
Now here's your host, Bryce Robbins.
Hello, everybody. It's been a while, but I'm back. And you know what? It's good to be back. It's good to get back on the radio and talk about some good old liberal policies. But before I get too libtard on you, I have to tell you what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. I mean, this man is a bad joke gone wrong. Anyone watch South Park? The episode about the Canadian Prime Minister, who is Donald Trump, and all the Canadians are immigrating to the United States? Yeah, that is the situation that we are essentially seeing with Donald Trump becoming president. It is a bad joke gone wrong. With the wall, with all this bullshit we hear. And the saddest part of it is he's winning. And I don't get how he's winning. It doesn't make sense to me how this man is winning. He uses the most simplistic language of all the candidates. That was according to, I think ABC. He's targeting groups. Blatantly, his statements are race-driven. Something I just can't approve of. Now, being a liberal doesn't mean I support every single product of, liberal policies. I mean, I'm the person who's always saying we should change affirmative action to socioeconomic based. And I actually think that we should tear down the label system of race because in all reality, from what I've actually been reading about, race is a product of the 15th century slave trade. And slavery actually predates the notion of race. Something interesting you might want to look at. But the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is dividing people based off race. And if you look and you see his rallies, it's get out of here, get him out of here. Another one. Don't you just love Trump rallies? Always some protesters. It's insane. It's insane. And it's blowing my mind that we have a presidential first runner, right? He's right now the top seed. If he's your March Madness pick, he's the number one seed. People are going to get very mad at you for picking him. It's like Obama. He always picks the 1 or 2 seed when it comes to March Madness. Well, you know what? Donald Trump is that 1 seed, and it's getting a little scary because nobody thought he could do it. And that just goes to show you that upsets are definitely possible. And they're going to tell the stories about the miracle on ice, and then they'll tell the story about how Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States of America. Now, let's just go throughout his policies. They're fucking insane. I mean, absolutely bizarre. And what scares me the most is that they won't happen. He will fail the country the way he failed all his businesses. I mean, for God's sakes, his business is his name. He just puts it on buildings, and that's all he does. And you know what? He had millions of dollars given to him in inheritance. He had millions of dollars given to him. He had like $1 million loan from his father. His father already built the business. I wouldn't know this. He built my freaking grandparents' home. That's his father I'm talking about. He was already an established builder in New York, okay? The only thing that made Donald Trump different was he decided to move to Manhattan when his father told him not to. But at the end of the day, he was already built up, okay? And to be quite honest, we've seen reports that have suggested that he's been worth nothing because that's how much debt he's been in. There was actually on John Oliver's show, showed it pretty well. Ivanka Trump said in an interview in 2003, says, see that man over there? Donald Trump speaking. That man is $8 billion richer than me. He's referring to a homeless person because of how much debt he was in. I mean, this is the type of person we're dealing with. And he's just a facade. He's fake. So I actually wanted to play a interesting commercial from Republican women. Okay, these women are Republican. They are, with Rick. And they don't like Donald Trump. And you might have heard this commercial already, but it's short. I want to play it again because it really just gets conversation going. All right, here we go.
Bimbo, dog, fat pig. Real quotes from Donald Trump about women. A person who is very flat-chested is very hard to be a 10. I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that?
She had the height, she had the beauty. She was crazy. But these are minor details.
I like kids. I mean, I won't do anything to take care of them. I'll supply funds, and she'll take care of the kids. You know, it really doesn't matter what they write, as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of
That must be a pretty picture. You dropping to your knees.
There was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her... wherever. Women. You have to treat them like This is how Donald Trump talks about our mothers, our sisters, our daughters. If you believe America deserves better, vote against Donald Trump. Our Principles PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Shit. I mean, shit. You're going to see such a gender divide when you see Hillary versus Trump. And I said yesterday, I think I'm just going to walk into the voting booth with my hands over my eyes or blindfold or whatever. I'll spin around 5 times, I'll press the button, and I'll walk out. Because at this point, what are we going to have here? We're going to have a bigoted dumb fuck as our president, or Hillary. And Hillary should be a curse word onto its own. I mean, she's a disgusting human being. I hate Hillary Clinton. I was just saying the other day, and I already see myself getting started on this, but think of all the things Hillary Clinton has flip-flopped on. Well, Rick says it best, that I support things that only align for me or whatever. But what about when Hillary changes her views away from my views? Right? She's already changed her views towards my views with, to get the Bernie voters. But what happens when she turns back? Not going to be good. So I actually wanted to play just another clip to continue this interesting conversation we have about Donald Trump. He actually said this at a presidential debate.
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small.
It was at this moment that I said, what the fuck?
I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
And it was at that moment I was in shock. I was watching that debate and hearing those icky words come out of his mouth. It made me feel dirty hearing that. And that was at a presidential debate. We've gone from the age of Lincoln and Jefferson and, Adams. At a presidential debate, this man just talked about his genitalia. Let that soak in. I mean, what the hell? It's disgusting. A presidential candidate just talked about the size of his genitals on air. Now, I like the part where a couple days after there was conflicting reports that someone who had relations with him actually said it was a, quote, disappointing size. So perhaps Mr. Ego Maniac over there is compensating for something, because from what we hear, Donald, it's not as big as your wall's going to be. So, But anyways, he clearly does not have the temperament to be president, and that is not a deniable fact. The man is talking about his junk on air. He is rallying people around race baiting, and he's a horrible person. I mean, just a jackass. Now, I'm still not even in the reasons why he shouldn't be president yet. These are just some, of the more minor reasons when compared to some of the other things he says. But let's not forget about, he kind of fails a lot at his companies. And his policies are also losers. I mean, the wall? Well, let's just listen to what Governor Andrew Cuomo had to say about the wall.
If that's the problem, the solution is simple. We make a long list. We write down all the immigrants on the list, and then we kick them all out. And then to make sure they don't come back, we build a wall. The wall, the big wall, a long wall, a 1,000-mile wall, like the China Wall. But wider, but higher, but nicer. Good-looking wall. I'm going to build a wall. Don't worry, the wall is a beautiful wall.
See, when simplified, that's essentially what Donald Trump is saying. I know Andrew Cuomo, this schmuck, who I also don't like, he's a Hillary supporter, no surprise there, because he's a pandering asshole. But that's besides the point. The real point is that this is essentially what Donald Trump is saying. We're going to copy down all the immigrants' numbers, and then we're going to kick them out. And then to keep them out, we're going to build a wall, a big wall, a tall wall, a long wall. That's what's happening. And the fact of the matter is, most immigrants don't come to this country by crossing the border. Okay? I look up the statistics. You'd be surprised. It's about, I think a third of the immigrants, or maybe even less, maybe it was like a fifth or something, cross the border. The rest just are expired visas. So the notion that we have to build this wall to keep out immigrants it's silly. And I know Rick I hope he's not listening right now, but the environmental damage that a wall would do to the ecosystem is terrible. You know how many animals migrate up and down the continent? Yeah, okay. I damn it, Rick. I knew that was coming. See, that's the problem when you're too busy to learn how to produce your own show, and also because I have a Mac, Rick is still the one pushing the buttons. So I just feel like Geppetto. Anyways, we have a clear problem here. The man wants to build a wall and doesn't even get where immigrants are coming from. Okay? He's a dumbass. He's just saying the immediate solution so that, he's going to get the trashy vote, the people who don't really care, the gunslinging, whiskey-tootin' vote. That's what he's after here. And he knows it. Then you listen to his comments about, the KKK. He didn't denounce David Duke. I mean, what a fuckface. He asked, "Oh, well, I don't know anything about David Duke." Bullshit. In an NBC report, he said that David Duke was a horrible, bitter racist, and he totally called him out when he was running for governor, David Duke. So, I mean, the notion that that Donald Trump, didn't know who David Duke was is complete BS. And I actually kind of feel compelled to find that clip for you when I come back from break, but don't worry, that's a little bit later. So, I have to say, though, Mexican immigration peaked in 2007, okay? And it's been on a steep decline since President Obama stepped into office. Odd, right? Odd? Okay. So the population of illegal immigrants has actually dipped about 1 million people since Obama's taken office. It went starkly from, in 2007, 12.2 million to today's 11.3 million. Now, these are the numbers and estimates that we have. They make up about 3 to 5% of the nation's population. 25% of them are living in California. Now, it's estimated, and this is where the liberal argument gets a little skewed, because, I'm not even going to say it, but do you know how much money illegal immigrants and cheap labor bring into the economy? Not that I want it, but all I'm saying is avocados would be a lot more expensive if we decided we were going to round up everybody and kick them out, which is what Donald Trump wants to do, especially because he cited Project Wetback from Dwight D. Eisenhower's administration, which I love Dwight D. Eisenhower, but that was a sick, racist, failed policy. And to be quite honest, all of them came back. Even Donald Trump admitted it. And under the Clinton administration, rounded up a ton of people, threw them over the border, they all came back. No wall to keep them out. But the problem is they're not coming through walls. They're coming through visas. Most illegal immigrants come through expired visas, and that's just the fact of the matter. So the notion that we're going to spend $10 billion building a wall, and then we're going to go kick ISIS's ass. The problem is, what happens when those soldiers who kick so much ass come back, and they need psychiatric help, and they need care? And then they go to the VA, and it still fucking sucks because, it's a shit show. What happens then? Where's the $10 billion? Oh, it's keeping out the illegal immigrants. Ridiculous. We should expand troops at the border, expand technology services at the border, giving Border Patrol more surveillance technology. We should keep doing what we're doing. But at the end of the day, it's not about kicking out illegal immigrants. And whether it's legislation or executive order, I really don't care. It's just, you can't deport 11 million people. You can't do it. All right? We don't have the means or the reason to kick out all these people, especially because, Martin O'Malley put it best. We are a nation of immigrants. The symbol of our country is supposed to be the Statue of Liberty, not a fence with barbed wire keeping out people. So, on that note, I want to jump to couple more topics on Donald Trump. Donald Trump always says we're going to bring things back to the good old days. See, that scares me. What the fuck are the good old days? I'm going to try to kind of find him saying that, but I always hear him saying that. Back in the good old days, we could do this and that and whatever. In the good old days, we could rough you up, and he just starts problems here. This is apparently a quote. Let's hear it.
I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. That's true. I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. In the good old days, they'd rip him out of that seat so fast. Where are the police? Come on, police, get him out. Let's go. Let's go. Go home and get a job. Go home, get a job. Get a job. Get him out of here, please. Get him out. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, they would not do it again so easily. In the old days, they didn't come back.
In the good old days? You mean when they used to hose down black people? When they used to douse dogs on their crotches? When they used to beat them with nightsticks? What the hell are the good old days? What are the good old days, Donald? Please tell me what the good old days are, because you're 69 years old. So you're about old enough to know what the good old days are. What the hell are the good old days? We will rough you up? You think it's politically incorrect to treat someone with decent, decent respect? They're protesting you peacefully. They're not hurting anybody. And you, in all fairness, are a very divisive candidate. So the sick notion that, what do you call it? The sick notion that you are not, and you are not qualified for qualifying protesters is ridiculous. And I wish I could show video clips here. And I always wanted to start a YouTube page, and I think I might eventually. But the clip of somebody charging the stage, and you see how scared Donald Trump is. It's awesome. It's awesome how scared he gets. He's a pussy. And actually, funny that Rick actually what do you call it? Excuse me. It's funny that Rick actually got retweeted by Gary Johnson, because Gary Johnson, well, he used that word that I just used. Let's hear it.
It was kind of a misfire on my part when I called him a pussy. Donald Trump's a pussy. But the point was that, you know what? I've climbed the highest mountain on each of the 7 continents. I'm going to do a 3,000-mile mountain bike ride here upcoming. Trump's a pussy. I think that Donald Trump alienates more than half of Republicans. Deporting 11 million illegal immigrants, building a fence across the border, killing the families of Islamic terrorists. Free market, but I'm going to force Apple to make their iPads and their iPhones in the United States. If it gets down to being in the presidential debates and he's got anything to say about me, which I'm sure he will, I'll just start off the fact that he's a pussy.
So that happened. That's presidential candidate Libertarian Gary Johnson, who, interestingly enough, I would agree with there, the man climbed a freaking mountain. Apparently the tallest ones on each of the 7 continents. So, you know what, Donald? You are a pussy in your penthouse apartment in New York City. Fair enough, Gary. A round of applause for you. So, the next thing that I just wanted to bring up, and lastly about Donald Trump, is all of his failed companies. Okay? Just to run through the list, and then I'm going to go to break. But Donald Trump's failed companies span pretty far. I mean, let's just run through the list. There's Trump Air, failed company. There's Trump Steaks, failed company. There's Trump Ice, failed company. There's Trump Vodka, failed company. There's Trump Magazine, failed company. That's just the short side of the list. The list goes on and on. I mean, for example, in 2000 and I think it was 6 or 7, Trump Mortgages. You know what happened soon after? Yeah, housing bubble clap. Perfect time to make a mortgage company, my friend. So clearly he has no market insight. And he touts the fact that he's rich, but he's really not. He just puts his name on things, and he's just famous because of his name. He has TV shows. And it's scary that we're making the presidency a reality television show. But my biggest fear is that we look at all these failed companies, and what happens if America becomes a Donald Trump failed company? All right, I'm Bryce Robbins. This is Opinion Nation. We'll be right back after this short break. Gotta pay the bills, folks. We'll be back.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program America Off the Rail. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hungover from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Alright, I'm crack myself up. Alright, I'm Bryce Robbins. This is Opinion Nation. Welcome back. So, I decided, screw it, I want to stick with Donald Trump just for a little bit longer. Then I'll get to the Democrats.
That's what the Republican Party said too.
Yeah, basically that is what the Republican Party said. So, first I actually want to play a clip from Stephen Colbert. Trump versus Trump, because I just think it just highlights some of the points that I've been making.
Luxury presidential debate.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Debate Night, Americana style, a nation in the balance. Tonight, the leading Republican faces off against arguably his greatest opponent, himself. Tonight it is mano a mouthful. Tonight it is Donald against Trump, or as they're known by their celebrity couple name, Dump. Donald, let's start with you. Your chief Republican rival, Ted Cruz, has attacked you for skipping tonight's Fox News debate. Do you believe your absence will improve Cruz's chances?
I don't think Ted Cruz has a great chance, to be honest with you. He's a nasty guy. Nobody likes him. Nobody in Congress likes him. Nobody likes him anywhere once they get to know him.
Okay, so no one likes Ted Cruz. Mr. Trump, a rebuttal.
I really do. I'd like Ted Cruz a lot.
Okay. Now, for this next portion of the debate, we're going to go and take questions from everyday Americans who are watching. Our first one comes from a Megan K. who lives in 2011. Megan, what is your question?
Do you really think that you're a better moderator than I am?
No, I could never beat you. That wouldn't even be close. There would be no contest. You have done a great job, by the way, and I mean it.
That's a very positive message. How about you, Donald?
I have zero respect for Megyn Kelly. I don't think she's very good at what she does. I think she's highly overrated.
Now, I must warn you, sir. I must warn you to be careful, Mr. Trump. In the past, when you've turned against a woman that way, she ends up with half your assets.
So, that was a clip from Stephen Colbert's show. And let's be real, Donald Trump, this isn't the first time he's flip-flopped his views. I mean, he was a Democrat, then he was part of that weird party which ended up failing that because, David Duke kind of joined it. Then he decided he was going to be a Democrat again, then he became a Republican, and now, the guy flip-flops. Now, I have one more clip about Donald, and then I'll stop. I promise. Okay, this is the last one. Ready?
I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall. I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall. I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall. I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall. He should pay for it. He's got the money.
Are you afraid that he's going to be the next president of the United States? What would that mean? What would that mean for Mexico?
No, no. Democracy cannot take us to crazy people that doesn't know what's going on in the world today.
Okay, so that's the former former president of Mexico saying that he's not going to pay for that fucking wall. Mr. Fox clearly was very vehement about Donald Trump and the way he's been speaking about how Mexico is going to pay for this wall. What happens when Mexico doesn't pay for the wall? Because even the current president, Enrique Peña Nieto, said there's no way in hell that there's a cent that is going to be going to that wall. So Donald supporters, as Rick put it, Donald pansies, which, to be quite honest, the amount of times that
Trump pansies, get it right. Trump
pansies, thank you. Rick actually has a lot of names for Trump supporters, and it's actually, I don't know how they're not becoming famous if they're not already, because Trump pansies is actually pretty fucking funny. But the point here is that they are telling us, okay, we're not paying for that wall. Don't listen to him. So what do we think Donald Trump's response was? The wall just got 10 feet higher. Yeah, that's actually exactly what he said. In response to these interviews, he said, well, the wall's going to get even higher. The wall's going to get higher. I mean, for God's sakes. The guy's a bullshitter. He's an asshole. And we can't listen to him. All right. So the next topic on the agenda, I know I kind of got sidetracked here, was superdelegates. And how my guy, Bernie, is going to get his ass handed to him unless he can get some superdelegates. So the problem here is, well, what the fuck is a superdelegate? Well, that's why I brought a video clip here to explain it to you with a little bit of humor.
Democratic Party, there are assembled the world's greatest democratic heroes, created from the establishment elite, party leaders, fundraisers, lobbyists, and Jimmy Carter. with 700 more super friends, able to choose whichever candidate they want as the party's presidential nominee, regardless of what primary voters actually want. Their mission: to fight grassroots candidates that might actually represent the party's base, to right that which is wrong according to privileged insiders, and to serve all mankind. Just Hillary. Just Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's exactly what superdelegates essentially are. They're just a bunch of rich assholes, or politically powerful assholes, who thus are rich, who have sway in the system. And actually ask most people, how do you become a delegate, a superdelegate? Most people have no freaking clue, because most people don't even know what they are. I mean, that's the sad part. Now, Hillary Clinton has 467 superdelegates, and Bernie Sanders has 26. So, if you actually end up doing the math, it's not that Hillary Clinton's up by a lot in the popular vote. Yes, I will give it to her. Yes, she is. If you end up doing the math right now, she's about 700 votes ahead. Okay? But then, if you account for the superdelegates, she's about 330 delegates ahead. So there's a difference. There's pledged delegates, which are the people. And then there are superdelegates, which are these rich dickweeds who essentially decide the Democratic nominee, who ensure that the establishment candidate wins, who ensures that a Donald Trump-like insurrection will not happen in the Democratic Party. So go ahead, look it up. Democratic delegate count on Google, and you will find a chart for each candidate. You can select Democrat, or you can select Republican. I'm actually doing it right now, just checking it out. Hillary Clinton right now is at 1,614. Bernie's at 856. The most of which of his are obviously pledged delegates, not super delegates. Hers are also mostly pledged delegates, but she's got a crap load of super delegates here. It's a big block. And if you take that block away, Hillary Clinton's not such a scary person after all. Remember, she was up 60%. Well, when it comes down to it, the fact of the matter is with pledged delegates right now, it's not a 60% increase, okay? Nowhere near it. It's a close race when you get rid of the super delegates. Now, I'm not going to be afraid, okay? Because Hillary Clinton's still is 2,295 delegates. She needs a total of 2,383 delegates to claim victory. She has 1,614. Now, the fact of the matter is there's 2,295 left. So for the people who say Bernie Sanders is out, I'm going to help out a buddy here who I saw on Facebook the other day. Hashtag Stan... now I messed it up. Sanders up or no? Oh, I messed up. Oh, wow. It was some clever...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Yeah, wow. I just messed up there. My bad. Huh. Now I have to go back and find out what it was. But it was a good hashtag. It was about Sanders losing. And I feel like I'm slowly getting Alzheimer's because I can't believe I just forgot that. But anyways, the point here is that superdelegates are a colossal waste of democracy. And in fact, if you look at our voting system, it's really not based off democracy at all. We're just suggesting the candidate we want. At the end of the day, when they go to those nominating parties, the DNC and the RNC, the national committees, conventions, that's where they decide the nominee. So superdelegates can switch their votes for the Democratic Party. So let's just say, hypothetically, Hillary Clinton gets the most votes. Or at the party, at the nominating convention, you have a brokered convention and Trump has the most votes. Both of those candidates can still lose because superdelegates or whatever type of delegates you have can switch who they're siding with. Then we get to the general election and it's even worse. So the fact of the matter is, does democracy even exist in this country? Unless you're talking about small government. When talking about national party politics, do we even have democracy? And to that, I leave you this video clip.
Say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again.
Tell us, Bill. Tell us.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Miss Lewinsky, I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
Damn, he lied. I don't think I ever really saw that clip full out, but I just kind of felt like playing it because I figured it'd be fun. Wow. He lied. Lied. And the weird thing is, you never see Hillary and Bill together in public. You ever notice that, unless it's politically viable or advantageous for them?
They're never together in private either. That's why he has folks like Monica.
I actually kind of like when Rick pops in and out like that. It just makes things funny. No, but it's true. They're never, ever, ever, ever together. And nobody seems to see that. So Hillary Clinton's supposed to stand up for, being a strong woman. I am the strong woman, female candidate. I want to be your first woman president. At the end of the day, she's a dick who doesn't even have the balls to stand up to her husband because she wants power. So, no, she should not represent female power or strength. Let that be Thank you for the barking. Let that be Elizabeth Warren. I mean, that's a strong woman, okay? Hillary Clinton, not a strong woman. The only reason there's a Clinton in her name is because she wants to be president, all right? She does not even go near Bill. They always say how they're going to be sleeping in the West Wing. All right, Bill's going to be all the way on the East Wing of the city. He's going to be so far gone. It's ridiculous that they're together, and that the American family has a sick love affair with the Clinton family. But for some reason, every person I ever meet doesn't like them. Even in my liberal town, we don't like the Clintons. They're just dirty. They're a political machine. I like the Bushes, and trust me, once Hillary gets elected, it's going to tarnish that name even further. And I don't know how much dirtier it can get. But the fact of the matter is, nobody likes them. And at the end of the day, I might be voting for her, which scares me. But I'm going to play this clip about her flip-flopping just to tick me off a little bit more.
Not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman. This morning, love triumphed in the highest court in our land.
Hillary Clinton flip-flops a lot.
We're either going to be dependent on dirty oil from the Gulf or dependent on dirty oil from Canada. I think it is imperative that we look at the Keystone Pipeline as what I believe it is, a distraction from the important work we have to do to combat climate change, and unfortunately, from my perspective, one that interferes with our ability to move forward to deal with all the other issues. Therefore, I oppose it. We are making progress toward finalizing a far-reaching new trade agreement called the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The so-called TPP will lower barriers, raise standards, and drive long-term growth across the region. Now, looking back on it, it doesn't have the results we thought it would have in terms of access to the markets, more exports, etc. So are you saying that as of today, this is not something you could support? What I know about it as of today, I am not in favor of what I have learned about it. Any vote that might lead to war should be hard, but I cast it with conviction. Look, I know that there have been a lot of questions about Iraq posed to candidates over the last weeks. I've made it very clear that I made a mistake, plain and simple.
See, the problem with that previous statement is that's a big flippin' mistake you made. That cost hundreds of thousands of people, Iraqis and Americans, their lives. And the fact of the matter is you're a pandering asshole. So I keep playing clips today, and it's not because I'm trying to be lazy, but it's because the best way to express my points here. So the next clip I have to show you here is a total blow in Clinton's foundation. And it shows that Bernie Sanders
Did you really just say blow and Clinton in the same sentence? Just saying.
Damn it, Rick. Damn it indeed. That's why he's the guy pushing the buttons. That's why he's the guy making the big bucks. He catches those mistakes. Anyways, here's Hillary Clinton at one of the previous debates on fracking.
Belair. She's a student at the University of Michigan at Dearborn who says she's currently undecided. Ms. Belair has a question on fracking, which for viewers is a process of oil and gas drilling that's led to a significant increase in American energy production and jobs, but also raises serious environmental concerns. Sarah, your question's for Secretary Clinton, but you'll both be able to weigh in. Sarah?
Fracking can lead to environmental pollution, including, but not limited to, the contamination of a water supply. Do you support fracking?
Secretary Clinton?
You know, I don't support it when any locality or any state is against it, number one. I don't support it when the release of methane or contamination of water is present. I don't support it, number three, unless we can require that anybody who fracks has to tell us exactly what chemicals they are using. So by the time we get through all of my conditions, I do not think there will be many places in America where fracking will continue to take place. And I think that's the best approach, because right now there are places where fracking is going on that are not sufficiently regulated. So first, we've got to regulate everything that is currently underway, and we have to have a system in place that prevents further fracking unless conditions like the ones that I just mentioned are met.
Senator Sanders,
My answer is a lot shorter. No, I do not support fracking.
Boom. Right there. He's got my vote. Look, I don't care. Hillary Clinton's a piece of crap, and like, come on, right there. Hillary Clinton. No, I do not, but I do when you do it right. But if you don't, I do, but I don't. It's ridiculous. I will not vote for. I will vote for. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't like Hillary Clinton at all. But I don't want the Supreme Court to going to Rick's side of the aisle, because you know what? I just don't agree with them at all. And I know that some, at least basic things, will be upheld because it's politically advantageous for Hillary to get her second term in office. Yeah, I do suck, Rick, but it's true. The fact of the matter is, wow, Rick's just getting mad behind the scenes, pushing the button. Because, what do I do? What do I do?
My God, are you still talking?
No, not getting mad, just having way too much fun. I'll go back to prepping the other show now.
It is the end of the show. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't know what to do. Do I vote for Hillary? Do I vote for Trump? Do I vote for neither? Do I just not vote? That's a sick thing to say. I don't know what to do. Why? Because they both suck. This is a terrible choice. At least in like Obama, when he was running, I had like a feeling of, change and news and whatever.
Now I'm selling dope, and I know why. Why, hey, cause I got high, because I got high, because I got high.
Sorry, it seemed like you were a little down. I thought maybe that'd help.
iHeartRadio, if you're listening to this, I'm not the one pressing buttons. Please let me on your station. Please. Please.
It was only 10 seconds. They can't yell.
All right. So, Rick, you know what? For the last couple minutes of the show, why don't you just come on and let's just dick around about this, because I've beaten both of them to death.
Never mind. That's too easy again.
God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. I don't know why. Okay, I don't even mean to. That's the bad part, is that I don't mean it. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, I don't know. So, yeah, fun times. It's nice to hear that you're almost as verklempt as I am over this mess, though.
Yeah, but you use the Yiddish term on my show.
Well, I could have said schmeckled.
Could have said that, too. Could have done that as well. So, if you actually, for everybody who's going to watch the episode, I actually saved it with a very funny photo as the picture here. So, definitely everyone should go check out today's episode. Now, Rick, do you think you'll follow suit and just kind of close your eyes and pick?
No, because like I said, for the first time ever, there's actually going to be libertarians on the ballot in my state. I think I might actually have to whip out my Johnson. Just saying. And yes, I went there on purpose.
This is my show, Rick. This is my show. Why would you do that? Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah, Rick just said that. You know the show's coming to an end. We're all going to hell. I mean, Donald just scares me. Hillary is a liar. Bernie's crazy. Cruz is creepy. I mean, yeah, you can't deny it. Cruz is creepy.
Okay, so for all the people that are like trying not to puke back into their coffee or their breakfast or whatever right now, just to be clear, there's actually a picture going around Facebook and Twitter that talks about the Libertarian Revolution, and it's a meme that says the revolution just whipped out there, and then there's a picture of Governor Gary Johnson. So it's not like I was being completely vulgar; it was just a double entendre.
All right, fair enough. So, I mean, I'm gonna keep asking you, who would you rather pick between the two, Hillary or Donald?
I don't have to, because now there's a third choice. I'm going to whip out my Johnson.
Did my video, like, convince you or something? The one where he called him a pussy?
No, actually, it's just been something I've been kind of leaning towards now for a while, because I can't in good conscience vote for Hillary. I will not pull the lever for Trump, so I'm really left with no other option. And for the first time ever, I don't necessarily have to write something in at the top and void my ballot, because in my state you're not allowed to do write-ins, because there will be libertarian choices on the ballot. So since it's actually going to be there, going to exercise them.
You can't do a write-in?
My state doesn't allow write-ins. I can write anything in I want, but it will void my choice for the ballot. See, we don't have like the press button stuff or the hit a button and kind of write in what you want thing. It's a checkbox. You basically fill in the one that you want, and if you do anything other than that, it voids your ballot. So.
Now, do you have electronic ballots like we do?
No, we still use paper. There's an electronic scanner, but it's still a paper ballot.
Oh, that's interesting. I see. I always see as a problem because it could definitely lead to human error. Kind of scares me, or air quotes human error.
See, I don't know. I actually trust the paper ballot system much better because you fill it out and then it still gets scanned in and counted, but then you can go back and manually count them if there are any issues. With the electronic voting machines, there have been way too many weird things that have happened with those over the years, and there's also the fact that a lot of those are actually designed and manufactured outside of our country anymore, so it always just kind of made me a little leery about those to begin with.
Did you ever see the movie The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell?
No, but I've heard about it.
Movie you have to see. In the movie, they have the Mock Brothers, which is basically the Koch brothers, and on the voting machines, you see it says Mock Industries. So I always feel like on the voting machines it would say like Koch brothers or something like that, but you know. I mean, I'm sure something like that happens.
No, we're not that subtle anymore. I'm sure there's probably somewhere where if you look close enough, it just has 666 on there somewhere.
Yeah, you're probably right. And, you know, everyone knows that all the presidents are actually lizard people, and Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.
Never mind the fact that Ted Cruz was like 5.
Or, you know, he's also in a Christian rock band, apparently. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I've seen that one going around.
And what do you think on that one?
People are insane.
Or he's in a Christian rock band.
I mean, even if he is, who cares? That's kind of awesome, actually. Think about it. We could have our first rocker president.
That is true. That is true. He could preach the gospel well, rocking it. The only thing I liked about him was that he wanted to get rid of subsidies. But stop trying to convince me to Ted Cruz. It's not happening. I'm not doing it. Don't do it.
I never said you had to. All I said was, if it comes down to Hillary and Trump, I will go libertarian.
All right. Well, good. I'm glad you're doing your own thing. At least, you know, at least you're not voting for either of them. I feel obligated to. So I just feel like I have to vote for Hillary for the hills. See, it rolls right off the tongue as I twitch my eye. Rolls right off.
That's not your eye twitching. That's the beginning of a seizure because you just admitted you're going to vote for Hillary.
All right. Well, on that note, I gotta go because I can't take this anymore. I think I might go take a shower. I feel dirty. This episode I should retitle it "Coming Out Hillary," but I'm not out Hillary yet. I'll only come out for Hillary after Bernie.
At least you didn't say coming out of Hillary. Ew.
Total ew. All right. We definitely have to go now. All right, everybody. I'm Bryce Robbins. This has been Opinion Nation. Find us on Facebook on Opinion Nation or on Twitter at Robbins Bryce, Robbins_Bryce. And, chat us up, talk us up. Don't forget to listen to our show every, Saturday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Tuesdays, I believe, our repeat goes on at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time once again. So, don't forget to catch us, replay us, share us, like us, follow us. And also, don't forget to watch us before on Finding Common Ground. Because it's that hour that Rick and I go at it. We haven't gone at it, too much yet. But I'm feeling next week, we're going to hate each other. I'm just feeling it.
What are you talking about? I hate you now, you damn liberal bastard.
Good note to end on. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Welcome to Opinion Nation.
Oops, my bad, wrong button.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.